Hey everyone, how's it going? Aaron Rift here from NoDQ.com. I am being joined for Survivor Series predictions by David Payne. How are you doing today, David?
How's it going, Aaron? I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to this Survivor Series pay-per-view. I have to say, it's a very intriguing card overall, and I'm glad that WWE is doing the Raw versus SmackDown matches and doing the traditional Survivor Series matches. It feels like for the first time in a long time, these Survivor Series matches are something special. The only thing is, I wish there was more on the line in the actual Survivor Series matches. You know, you have Raw versus SmackDown, and I wish like they had some, maybe have it where several people get drafted to the other show depending on who wins, something like that. But beyond that, I think it's a really solid card. And what are your thoughts on this card overall?
Yeah, I've been kind of, I don't know, critical about this. And as you said, I do like the Survivor Series, the traditional Survivor Series matchups. I guess my only knock would be, what does it really do to advance anybody's storyline going forward? It's almost like this is just a way to have the two shows on and compete. And then, more storylines will be advanced going into the Royal Rumble. I just kind of think this is sort of, just a chance to see both shows rather than anything really major happening. And of course, the Goldberg-Lesnar match as well.
Yeah, and you do have two matches where something's on the line. You have two
Yeah,
titles that could potentially switch brands. I just think they should have done a little bit more. And like you said, it's mainly just to have Raw and SmackDown on the same show. And
yeah,
it's funny because they say like this is the one time it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown. But what about the Royal Rumble? You're going to have 15 Raw guys and 15 SmackDown guys, so it's still going to be Raw versus SmackDown, although I guess technically it's every man for himself, but whatever.
presumably so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the Royal Rumble. Let's not get too far ahead. Let's focus on this Sunday's pay-per-view, which is going to be 4 hours, by the way, including that's the 4 hours, and then on top of that, you're going to have the pre-show or whatever else they're doing. Right now, there are 6 matches officially announced, and there could be more. I'm assuming that most of these matches will be given a lot of time,
Yeah,
especially the traditional Survivor Series matches. I think that those matches will get, I think each one will get about 30 to 45 minutes, and that will take up a lot of the pay-per-view time.
I agree.
So oh, you do agree with me. What a shock.
Well, yeah, what a shock. No, but I mean, they did that with WrestleMania, the one in 31 where you were at, where they just had, 5, 6 matches, but they were all, long matches, and it worked out for that event. Well, hopefully it'll work out for this one.
Yeah, you better not agree with me too much or you're going to get a lot of heat.
Uh-oh, oh no.
Apparently, that's all you do is agree with me. So I'm just going to purposely disagree with you. I'll have you answer first, and then I'll purposely disagree with you just so everyone's happy.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Yeah. All right, so let's break this down. We have the singles match for the WWE IC Championship. Sami Zayn challenging not Dolph Ziggler, but The Miz. So we were actually originally going to record this video Tuesday, and I thought about it, and I'm like, we better wait until after SmackDown before we do this. And I'm glad we did because Dolph Ziggler lost the IC title. The Miz is once again champion. What is it, 6 times now?
Yeah, 6 times. I don't think they give much thought into how many title reigns somebody gets anymore, because, like, who would have thought The Miz would have been a 6-time Intercontinental Champion?
Yeah, and didn't they, like, reference Jeff Jarrett? I guess he's tied with Jarrett now for the record.
I actually missed that. They actually talked about Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah, there
Wow.
was a Jeff Jarrett name drop for the first time in, like, a decade at least.
Wow, yeah, that's a surprising one.
Yeah, so anyways, I'm a little bit disappointed because I was looking forward to Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler. I think that would have been technically a better match, but I think this match will work better in the sense that The Miz is a heel and it'll be clear who the good guy is and who the bad guy is. I think if you did Sami Zayn versus Ziggler, it's face versus face, and you
Yeah,
don't really have that dynamic, and Miz is going to get really booed by the Toronto crowd, and
oh
Sami
yeah.
Zayn's in his home country, so it's going to be very pro-Zayn. So I do think it's a good move, but I was looking forward to Zayn versus Ziggler. I mean, that match could have definitely had a lot of potential to be a match of the year contender. I mean, so can this one, quite frankly. I think this one will end up being really good. So I'll ask you first, what are your thoughts on the match, and what's your prediction? Do you think that Raw will get the IC title?
Well, first, let me touch on Ziggler not being in the match. From a technical standpoint, I actually was looking forward to the match. I was saying to myself, boy, that'll be the match of the night. And then all of a sudden they pulled the plug. But the Miz and his heel character still can pull it off. And, I don't know what it says for Ziggler going down the road, but it would be getting to the title change. It's funny because, like, for me, I always thought each show should have a major and a minor, and we're not even including the cruiserweight division. I'm just talking about strictly heavyweight, major and minor title. And if it goes over to Raw, I don't know what that says for SmackDown. I would, not to get too ahead here, but I would say that the cruiserweight division goes to SmackDown, and then the Intercontinental goes to Raw. But then Raw has the U.S. and the Intercontinental. Wow.
Exactly. That was what I was going to bring up. I'm wondering, what is the point of the IC title being on the same show as the US title? They serve the same purpose. I suppose you could unify the titles, but to me it just doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, maybe the Cruiserweight division would be better on SmackDown, but Raw is a 3-hour show, and I think you need a little bit of variety on Raw. That's the one good thing about the Cruiserweight division. I mean, my opinion is I would just get rid of the whole look that the Cruiserweight division has with the ropes and everything. Just let it be a regular part of the show and have the Cruiserweights also interact with the other characters on the show instead of just having them as their own separate little entity. I think it's not working. It's not
working for Raw. It comes off as a little tacky and forced, and sometimes the fans aren't really into it. They're not invested into any of the characters. But, Sami Zayn's been a workhorse, and for some reason I'm telling myself that they're going to give him the title. I mean, he's really, since he's come back from his injury, he's really been a workhorse for the company. And yeah, I could see that trade possibly happening. And for some reason, I don't know, it just seems like the SmackDown roster seems to be more of the wrestlers in ring, whereas Raw's more of the show, where you get the entertainment with Enzo and Cass and all those guys. And so I wouldn't be surprised at all if Sami Zayn wins it goes to Raw. Or if there's a trade down the road where Sami Zayn maybe goes to SmackDown.
Yeah.
But I see Sami Zayn winning. And then I see that, not getting ahead of myself, but the Cruiserweight and the Intercontinental will probably switch, in my opinion.
We can talk about the Cruiserweight thing, too, since they tie it together. So you think Kalisto's going to win the Cruiserweight title?
Yeah, and he's had a lot of botches, and the fans have been kind of like, with him. But I see it happening. I just think, and I said from day one that the Cruiserweight division, even though you got a 3-hour show to fill in Raw, the Cruiserweight division fits better with the SmackDown brand,
Yeah, but SmackDown's a good enough show as it is. It's just 2 hours. It's the perfect time. And if you add the Cruiserweights to SmackDown, how do they fit in? I mean, everything's already... Right. SmackDown moves at a faster pace than Raw as it is. So how do you fit those guys in without more people being lost in the shuffle? I just don't see how it works. Now, I know WWE is doing this SmackDown 205 show on Tuesday nights after SmackDown, but still, I mean, maybe they could come up with an angle where the Cruiserweights are on both shows. I mean, maybe that would be a better way to go. But yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, a lot of people seem to think that what you think, that the Cruiserweight division is going to SmackDown and the IC title is going to Raw. I'm going to go ahead and make a bold prediction and say both titles stay on the brands they're currently on. So Miz will retain. And the thing is, too, when does the hometown or home country guy ever win his match? We just saw last month at Hell in a Cell with Sasha Banks losing in Boston. So I'd be surprised if Sami Zayn won just because of the WWE booking pattern of the home country or hometown guy never winning. So I'm going to go on a limb and say that Miz retains the IC title, and then Brian Kendrick defeats Kalisto, and the Cruiserweights stay on Raw. But I could be wrong. I mean, this one's very difficult to call, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult to call, but we'll both go both separate ways, and hopefully we'll have it both covered either way.
So there you go, folks. We disagreed on something. So
wow,
get off our backs, damn it. All right. So next up, we have a 10-on-10 Survivor Series Tag Team Elimination match. Now, somebody did ask me, does this mean that everybody is going to be out there instead of one representative? Yes, it's going to be everybody from the teams out there as part of the match. Think about like the 1987 and 1988 Survivor Series matches. Now, the thing about those matches is they were a little bit of a train wreck with so many people in there. Basically, you're going to have the entire apron on all four sides filled with people. So it's going to be pretty crazy. Again, I expect this to maybe go 30 to 45 minutes. There'll be a lot of time dedicated to these traditional Survivor Series matches. So let's break down the teams. On Raw, we have the Tag Team Champions, The New Day, Cesaro and Sheamus, Anderson and Gallows, Enzo and Cass, and the Shining Stars. And on SmackDown, we have Heath Slater and Rhino, the tag team champions for SmackDown, the Hype Bros, Zack Ryder and Mojo, the American Alpha, the Usos. By the way, I guess the Usos are baby faces now. I'm not sure what the deal was on SmackDown, but they were acting like total baby faces for the entire show. It was really weird. And then Breezango, when I guess they're doing some kind of fashion police gimmick now. I mean, I'm not sure what that was. I mean, this one's interesting. I mean, I think I'm going to go with Team Raw just because you have the New Day as one of the top acts in the company. And overall, I think Raw has a stronger tag division. American Alpha could very well end up being the last team on their side. But looking at the teams, I think there's more star power on Team Raw. And I think in the end, it'll be Raw that comes out on top. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I was going to pick Raw too, but I've been saying it for day one that, I mean, this is basically every tag team in the company now, and it shows you kind of how not so deep the SmackDown tag division is right now. I mean, Breezango, come on now. But, I could see a scenario where New Day gets eliminated. Maybe they get screwed by Anderson and Gallows or something, and then it's Anderson and Gallows and American Alpha kind of left in there, and then maybe American Alpha gets the win. Who knows?
I mean, if SmackDown does win, I think it would be most suitable for American Alpha to be the sole survivors on their team.
Right, yeah, because they're going to get the push.
And really elevate them as a top team. I mean, Heath Slater and Rhino, they're basically a comedy act. Hype Brothers are basically comedy. Breezango, comedy. Usos, who knows if they're even faces or heels at this point. So really it seems like the only team that has any kind of real credibility. I mean, I guess, people like Slater and Rhino, but American Alpha is the team that people really like and really want to see elevated. So I hope regardless of what happens, they have a strong showing in this match. And yeah, I'm guessing we'll see something go down between New Day. I mean, the thing is, I'm expecting Sheamus and Cesaro to get their rematch at the next pay-per-view. So there could be something with that. But in the end, I think I'm going to stick with Team Raw to win this.
Yeah, I mean, I was going back and forth. I'm going to say Team Raw too. I hate to agree, but I mean, that's just kind of what I thought in my head. They just have the better tag teams. I don't see. I mean, they got three of the top tag teams in the company, and then SmackDown's got American Alpha. They're basically the only top tag team right there, in my opinion, that can compete. So, yeah, American Alpha being at the end. The one thing I can say for sure, though, is that the Golden Truth will probably be the first one eliminated. But I love those guys, but they're pretty much just the squash guys now, right?
Right. Is Golden Truth in this match? Because I
thought they were. Weren't they out there with all the tag teams when they were hyping it the last couple weeks?
Well, I just pulled this off Wikipedia real quick. It doesn't have Golden Truth, and I should know this,
Wow. Well, if I'm wrong, then I'm like an orthopedic shoe. I stand corrected. But,
I just might be an idiot here and not even sure. I mean, that's the thing with some of these teams. I think Shining Stars won the spot from Golden Truth.
Was that what it was? Okay,
I didn't think so.
Competing for a spot, but okay. Well, that makes sense.
If I'm wrong, I apologize. I mean, the whole thing is just so silly, anyways. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean,
okay,
Shining Stars
was the first one out then.
Yeah, or Shining Stars.
Shining Stars.
They'll be the first ones out on the Raw team. We should do this. We should predict the order of elimination. Like I said, I think American Alpha will be the last team standing on SmackDown, and Slater and Rhino will probably be the second team out there at the end, and then the other teams. I'm not sure about the Usos. I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know. That's hard to call because I'm not sure what direction WWE is going with the Usos after SmackDown. And as far as Raw goes, I mean, Shining Stars out first. It's tough because I think all these teams are pretty high up the rankings, and it's hard to predict. Do you have any predictions about which teams will go out first or which will be at the end other than what we've already talked about?
Right. Well, my guess, I think, is going to be something between Anderson and Gallows and New Day. They'll be the last two teams for Raw. I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm thinking that something between Cesaro and Sheamus will implode between them and cost them elimination.
Possibly, yeah.
And maybe they're the second one out or the third one out. But, yeah, I'm still guessing Anderson and Gallows and New Day will be the last two teams for Raw. And as you said, Rhino and Slater and American Alpha will be the last two teams for SmackDown.
Sounds good. All right. Next up, we have the women's 5-on-5 match. Team Raw is Charlotte Flair. She's back to being Charlotte Flair now. Bayley, Nia Jax, Alicia Fox, and Sasha Banks against... Dana Brooke will be in their corner, by the way. Against Team SmackDown, Nikki Bella, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Naomi. with Natalya in their corner as the mascot with the whistle. So I'm guessing maybe we'll see some interaction between Natalya and Dana Brooke. They'll brawl or whatever on the outside.
Yeah.
As far as this match goes, I definitely feel that the Raw team is stronger overall in star power once again. And on SmackDown, we saw Team Raw try to invade, and they were unsuccessful. Team SmackDown fought them off, and usually the team that gets the last laugh on the pay-per-view ends up losing. Gets the last laugh on the go-home show before the pay-per-view. They end up losing the pay-per-view. So because of that, I think Team Raw will prevail here. I mean, Charlotte Flair is basically the top female star in the company right now, and Bayley's being groomed for a top spot. Nia Jax is being protected. Sasha Banks is one of their top stars. So yeah, I think in the end it will be Team Raw prevailing. What are your thoughts on this match and your predictions?
I picked Team Raw too, and it's just the case with the tag team division too. It's the same thing with the women's division SmackDown. It's just not there. It's just not as deep, you know. I mean, as you said, Raw's got all the top, you know, women stars in the company, and I don't foresee them losing at all. And Charlotte Flair, I've always called her Charlotte Flair. I don't know. You know, I mean, you got to carry on the Flair name. I mean, everybody knows who it is, but still, I like having Charlotte Flair. Why not, right? And I see her and Bayley being there at the end. I'm not sure where Sasha fits into this, but I don't know. Yeah, Nia Jax getting into it with Nia. Actually, you know what? Nia Jax might be there at the end. I don't know. They're really pushing her, and she's looking dominant as hell, man. So who knows? I mean, because it's not a singles match, so I could see a match like this being an elevation for an up-and-coming star, and I'm going to say Nia Jax.
Yeah. I think in this match, if you're going to have some sort of dissension, I mean, this would be the match to do it, where you can have Nikki and Carmella maybe have a falling out, and Alexa or Becky Lynch having a falling out. Something happens, somebody walks out, you know, something like that, and you know, Naomi will probably be the first one out on the SmackDown team. Alicia Fox is obviously the weak link on the Raw team, will probably be out first. Beyond that, it could be any order, really. But yeah, I mean, I could see not only do I think Raw will win, but I'm expecting there to be multiple sole survivors, maybe even 4 out of the 5. You know, Charlotte, Bayley, Nia Jax, and Sasha, you know, just dominating this match.
Yeah, I could see that happening for sure.
And there'll be a lot of dissension with the SmackDown women. That's my prediction, at least. You know, Natalya with the whistle, that'll end up backfiring and distracting somebody, you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet to go with Team Raw.
Yeah, Team Raw with the tag teams, Team Raw with the women.
Right, now that leaves us with the final match of the 3, the men's match, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. We have Universal Champion Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Seth Rollins versus Team SmackDown, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Shane McMahon, and James Ellsworth will be out there as the mascot. So, yeah, this has got a lot of star power on both sides, and to me, this is the hardest one of the 3 to predict. I mean, Raw could end up with a clean sweep here, but I would, you know, because I think Raw's going to win the other 2 matches, you know, I'm not expecting there to be a clean sweep. So if I'm going with Raw for the other 2 matches, I think I have to go with SmackDown here. And then you look at Raw, where Team Raw was standing tall to end the go-home show. And then on SmackDown, you had Undertaker coming out and basically saying, if you guys do not win, you're going to have to fear the dead man, you know, basically intimidating them to, it's his way of a pep talk to get them prepared.
Right.
So, you know, I think SmackDown's going to win this. I mean, I could see Brock Lesnar possibly coming out and costing Shane McMahon. I mean, I could see one of 2 things happening, and we'll talk about this more with the Lesnar-Goldberg match. You know, I think there's going to be some sort of interaction between Lesnar and Shane, whether they're going to have a match at the Rumble or WrestleMania, as it's been heavily rumored. I'm expecting some sort of confrontation between those 2 in one of the 2 matches on this show.
Yeah, it possibly could happen. And it was, you know, to me, like I picked SmackDown from the start to win this, just kind of how it was built up. And it's funny, the SmackDown goes on to the Raw show, and then the SmackDown authority figures get a bigger pop than the Raw ones, you know. But then when Undertaker did that and he came out and gave the pep talk, I'm thinking, well, if they lose, then he's going to hold somebody credible, and then that's going to build up a match between Undertaker and whomever, you know?
Yeah, that's a theory that a lot of people have, that Undertaker will challenge the person who drops the ball at the pay-per-view. Now, will that be AJ Styles? I mean, Will it be Randy Orton? I mean, that remains to be seen. I mean, that's why it's so hard to predict, because I'm not sure where WWE is going with Undertaker. I mean, presumably he's going to be back for a final run here, and it's going to be happening imminently. It's not going to be like he's going to resurface in February. Apparently he's back now, and he's going to do a run, you know, maybe Royal Rumble and the February or March pay-per-view, whatever, and then WrestleMania, and that'll be the end of his career. He's going to do a final run. You know, I've seen a lot of theories. I mean, one person had this idea of Undertaker beating AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble for the title, and then John Cena wins the Royal Rumble, and you set up Undertaker versus Cena at WrestleMania with Cena winning his 16th title at WrestleMania. I know that might be unpopular with some people, but that would be a pretty strong main event for WrestleMania. So that's one idea I've seen. I mean, there's so many theories out there.
Again, I don't know if it's unpopular. It's a stretch. You know, will they give the Undertaker another title just as a nod to him before he goes out? That's a great question. I never foreseen that, because Undertaker has always been an over gimmick without the belt. You know what I mean? He's never had lengthy title reigns in his career. So. But getting back to AJ versus Undertaker, boy, I could see that being a super blockbuster match at WrestleMania. Will AJ have the title going into that? You know, I'm presumably so. But you're right. There's so many different scenarios that could happen here. Like I said, I picked SmackDown to win, but now with the Undertaker thrown in this mix, this could really, you know, go either way. If I could say now, like I don't read all the dirt sheets and all what people say. I just kind of come to my own conclusion, and then I say it, and then I'll read stuff after. And my theory was that James Ellsworth is going to do something to distract AJ. AJ is going to lose the match, and then Undertaker is going to get pissed at AJ for not concentrating and letting a jobber distract him, and then maybe that'll build up. Now, that's just I'm throwing that out there, you know, just for the heck of it.
I mean, that definitely could happen, and you know, Ellsworth may end up costing Dean Ambrose or AJ or something. You know, there's so many possibilities in this match. That's why I think it's so hard to predict, because there's a lot of different outcomes we can see. And also, what's the future direction, where they go, and we really don't know what's going on with The Undertaker yet. So this one's the hardest one. Of any match on the show, I think this is the hardest one to predict. But I'm going with Raw by default, since I'm picking SmackDown for the other two matches.
No, you're picking Raw for the other two matches, Rift.
Oh, thank you. I stand corrected. Yeah, I'm going with SmackDown by default.
That's right. Yeah, man, I hate to go with you again, but I did pick SmackDown from this, you know, but... Just to differ, I'm going to go with the monkey wrench scenario and say Ellsworth either does something to Ambrose and maybe Ambrose turns heel, which we've been kind of waiting for, or it's something with AJ, and then AJ and The Undertaker have some sort of squabble, and that leads to something. So, man, you know, I picked Raw.
Raw?
Yeah, maybe I'm going to go Raw. Screw it. Maybe it's a clean sweep. But I mean, I originally did pick SmackDown, but again, you know, because of the Undertaker thing, I don't know. Who knows? You know?
Maybe Raw will have a clean sweep in the Survivor Series matches, but SmackDown will win the Cruiserweight title, and SmackDown will keep the IC title.
Yeah, there you go. That could very well happen. Them getting a clean sweep.
This is a pretty difficult show to predict, and I like it. I mean, it's not... Yeah. Besides the main event, which we'll get to here in a second, I think this is a very unpredictable show, and there are a lot of different outcomes.
Yeah, and doing what we do, I like the challenge. I mean, to me, when it's predictable, that's when, to me, I get bored with it. So for not knowing what's going to happen, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I do this for a living, so I'm following all this stuff very closely, and I cannot predict this. I mean, this is really intriguing stuff. So, you know, I'm very much looking forward to this pay-per-view just to see how things play out. Now, let's talk about the main event. We have the how are they billing it on Raw? Like Fantasy Warfare comes to life or something like that?
I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Video game analogy.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg 2. This is the rematch from 2004 WrestleMania 20, a match that was not exactly the best received match in WWE history. In that match, both guys were leaving the company, and the fans knew it in the building. They booed both guys. They only cheered for Austin. And,
there was a New York crowd.
Yeah, they did not like the fact that both guys were leaving, and neither guy really had a chance. You know, people say that they did not perform very well, but I mean, the fans were booing them right from the get-go. So why take any risks? All right, go ahead.
No, it's true, but I mean, it did take them like 10 minutes just to even lock up. I mean, you know, I don't know what it was, but they didn't want to get into it. They were feeding off too much of the fans, and they just weren't locking up. They weren't getting into it right away. And to me, I lost interest because of that. You saw Stone Cold saying, "Come on, let's get it on," and they weren't doing anything. They were just getting the fan reactions, and that was it. So if it goes like that in this match, I'm gonna flip the channel.
Yeah. Now, in my opinion, this is the easiest match to predict. I would be shocked if Goldberg won this match. I feel he was probably offered the right amount of money to do this, and at the end of the day, he is a businessman. He wanted to have that moment where his son and wife can see him perform in a WWE ring at a big show. So for him, that's enough. I don't feel that he needs to go out there and win from his perspective. He just wants to go out there and be able to perform and make the big payday. So to me, I don't think Goldberg has a problem with losing. And I think WWE probably brought in Goldberg for the same reason WCW brought in the Ultimate Warrior in '98, so Hulk Hogan could get his win back. And, Goldberg is the one guy that Brock Lesnar never beat. So this is Lesnar's chance to get his win back and redeem himself from WrestleMania 12 years ago. So, moving forward, obviously Brock Lesnar is going to continue to be one of WWE's top special attractions. Unless Goldberg's wrestling more matches, there's no reason for him to win. If Goldberg is going to do like WrestleMania or whatever, then you could make an argument for him winning. The only way I see Goldberg winning is if Shane McMahon interferes and costs Brock Lesnar the match, playing off a SummerSlam. That's the only way I see it happening. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, it's just going to be a one-off match for Goldberg. And in that scenario, we know WWE's formula. He's going to do the job for the guy that's still in the company, And I still think that Brock Lesnar may have one more. They may have something in store for him still, maybe one more title run, something. And you don't want Lesnar to just lose steam after not wrestling for a couple months and then losing to Goldberg first time in the ring in 10 years. So it wouldn't look right with Lesnar going forward if he does lose. It just wouldn't. Now, again, if he signs for more and maybe Goldberg. He loses, and then there's another rematch between Lesnar and Goldberg at WrestleMania. That could happen, but I just don't see it. I see Goldberg, this being his one-off match, and that's it. I don't know if he has a desire to do it full-time, or part-time.
I don't know if he does, and I don't know if WWE wants to shell out the money for him for another big match. I think this is it. I think this is him. He always said he'd consider coming back if the money was right, and I guess they made it right for him, and that's why he's back. So it is what it is. Now, the other two questions, will the match be better than WrestleMania 20? And the last question is, how will the fans react to this match? Will they cheer both guys? Will they boo both guys? I think that's unlikely. I think Lesnar will definitely get cheered. I mean, he's representing Canada now. He represented Canada at the UFC pay-per-view. I think he's going to be cheered very much. Now, is this a bad sign for Goldberg? We saw in Minneapolis a couple weeks ago, Goldberg got heavily booed despite Paul Heyman trying to get the fans to chant for Goldberg.
Yeah.
And they abruptly ended the segment, and I think this is going to be worse. This is Toronto. Toronto has historically never liked Goldberg. I remember in WCW they did that segment on Nitro where Bret Hart came out and Goldberg speared Bret Hart, and Bret was wearing the medal under the vest. That
was great. Yeah, that was Bret's best segment, I think, in WCW.
Probably his most memorable segment, and the crowd just hated Goldberg. And then, 7 or 8 months later, Goldberg ended Bret Hart's career. And I've said this before: the Canadian fans do not forget.
Oh, I haven't forgotten. Yeah, and I'm not even Canadian. I live 20 minutes from Canada.
I think Goldberg is in a lot of trouble in terms of getting a positive reaction. I mean, I hope he gets a good reaction, but my gut feeling is he's going to get Roman Reigns level hate in Toronto.
Yeah, it's Toronto. I mean, we go back to, when Hogan versus The Rock, and Hogan was supposed to be this big heel, and they completely turned on The Rock. I mean, to me, I blame the WWE, venue booking, and I don't know, because they're trying to manipulate Lesnar being a heel, but Lesnar's always been kind of a tweener, if you will. I mean, he gets cheers too. So, and then they, for him to be in Minneapolis and then expect them to cheer against Lesnar was just stupid. What did Vince think? I mean, he's pissed off at the segment, but what do you expect? And same with Canada. Not only have they forgot about Goldberg, but Brock Lesnar, now he's not a people person. He's got 1,000-acre ranch in Saskatchewan or wherever he's living. I don't know where it is, if it's Alberta or Manitoba, somewhere, but he lives in the middle of nowhere in Canada. So I see Goldberg getting his fair share of boos. You know, it's strange. You know, the way they booked his big comeback, but then they booked in Minneapolis where he got booed, and then now they're going to be in Toronto where most likely he's going to get booed. So I'm not sure what exactly they wanted to define, face and heel in this, but it's definitely going to be mixed. And I see the Cena chance kind of like back and forth, like let's go Goldberg, let's go Lesnar,
or Goldberg sucks.
Yeah, exactly. So I could see that happen.
You see him?
I do. The beast incarnate.
Yeah. Now, of course, the other thing is, will this match be any good? I'm concerned because on Raw a few weeks ago, you had Rusev and Goldberg having an in-ring confrontation, and Goldberg, all he had to do was block Rusev's punch and then knee him in the gut and hit the jackhammer, and he managed to fall down in that brief little exchange, which concerns me. I mean, I'm worried about Goldberg having too much ring rust and not having enough in-ring workouts to prepare for this match, and I'm concerned it's going to stink up the joint. I mean, if Goldberg botches something, that's definitely going to turn the crowd against him. Remember the 2003 Royal Rumble with Scott Steiner, how over Steiner was, but when he started botching moves, the crowd just completely turned on the guy.
Completely turned, yeah. Yeah, and that's my worry too. Like from a physical standpoint, he looks in great shape still for a guy that's pushing 50. He looks in great shape, and he still trains MMA and all that stuff, but it's the ring. It's like, it's like in football. You can practice all you want, but it's the in-game speed that you can't prepare for, and I'm just worried that, but maybe I'll chalk it up to him being his first big time back and his adrenaline is going, and he just kind of slipped up a little bit, but I'm concerned about that too. I mean, let's face it, we got a guy that's 40 almost and a guy that's almost 50 here in the main event, so we'll see. I do see some ring rust, but I expect it to be a stiff match, and maybe there'll be blood in it. I could see that because both guys are known for being pretty stiff workers as it is. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope they book this match well. I mean, if they book it well, that'll decrease the chances of the crowd turning on it. And I really felt they should have done like a no DQ stipulation where they could brawl in the crowd and just. I think this needs to be very fast paced, smash mouth, no rest holds, just two bulls butting heads, butting horns. And just let it be an all-out fight, just very physical, irresistible force meeting immovable object, that sort of thing. And I don't expect it to be very long. I mean, maybe 10 minutes tops. If they try to stretch this out to 20, 30 minutes, that's going to not likely end up good for the match and the outcome of that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. Their best
formula is to treat it like a UFC type of fight, like a shoot fight. That's their best formula for this match. So
I think so. Yeah. All right, so that'll wrap it up for our thoughts on the Survivor Series pay-per-view. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding the pay-per-view. I will be doing live coverage on Sunday. Thank you for being on, David. You can be followed on Twitter at SmartMark420.
That's correct.
I got it. I mean, I always get confused between 420 SmartMark. I think that's like your other account or your email or something.
That's my Gmail, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to do it separate.
Yeah, so
you'll be there live with Jeff in LA, and I'm being bumped from Backlash. Remember that?
You're being bumped from Survivor Series? Well, you're more than welcome to do your own reaction video, and I'll post it up on the channel as well, so we can get a special edition of Pop post Survivor Series. That's up to you if you want to get your thoughts on the show, especially if it's very eventful. You might have something you want to get off your chest or whatever, so feel free. I mean, I definitely love to have all your videos up.
And thanks. Yeah, I can do that. And I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. We will see you guys after Survivor Series.